Alright guys, so today we're going to be reacting to 15 unbelievable but true facts about Berlin. Interesting. So what are going to be those facts that I don't know about? First of all, I'm very ignorant when it comes down to German stuff. So I'm very intrigued to look forward to these 15 unbelievable but true facts about Berlin. Make sure you like and subscribe and share. Let's jump in.
I've told you many crazy things about our beloved Berlin, but there are a few unbelievable but true things that haven't had the chance to appear yet. But today's the day. Let's start with number one. Starting with the Döner Kebab, Berlin's number one fast
Oh man, that was
food and a must try for every visitor. What most people don't know is that the döner was actually invented right here in Berlin by a Turkish immigrant in 1972 who took the rotating grilled kebab meat and put it in a pita bread. The Turkish-inspired dish quickly became a popular street snack in West Berlin. And with so many Turkish immigrants living here, the Döner Kebab has become more and more popular. In Germany, Döner Kebab sales reach a staggering 3.5 billion euros each year. Today, in Berlin alone, there are more than 3,000 kebab shops. And our old beloved Chancellor Angie surely has tried to eat all of them. If you want to know which kebabs are the best here in Berlin, I've put a little list in my Patreon. Go check it out.
This is the best kebab in Berlin.
Oh bro.
Almost every time there's big construction going on in Berlin, the whole district around it has to be evacuated at some point because they discover some old World War II bombs. That's right,
What?
each year
What? What?
hundreds of thousands of people need to leave their home and hope it doesn't blow up. Because they usually have to defuse it on site. For Germans, this is pretty normal. During World War II,
crazy.
1.5 million tons of bombs were dropped over Germany. And a lot of them didn't explode and are still armed in the ground. In Berlin alone, they had to defuse over 7,000 bombs since 1947.
Wow.
That's on average 97 per year. And it's not only that bombs are found by accident, there are still actual task forces still actively looking for bombs. 75 years after the war. It's estimated that there are still around 3,000 big armed bombs in the ground. So you better be careful digging around in your garden.
Boom.
Since we are already talking about constructions, you think the Berlin airport was the only construction joke Berlin has in store? Constructing anything in Berlin can take decades. The best example and joke is the renovation and rebuilding of the Pergamon Museum, Berlin's most visited museum, attracting 250,000 visitors per year. It is scheduled to close in October and well, no one is going to visit the Ishtar Gate for the next 15 years at least.
Oh
That's
my
when the
God.
museum is planning to reopen in its entirety again. That's in the year 2037! And as we all know, there is no way they will stick to that deadline. If anyone is taking bets, I'll take the year 2050. Berlin's criminal underworld isn't dominated by shady German gangsters like Hollywood always portrays it to. Nope, it's actually dominated by 7 Arab clans from Lebanon, Iraq and Turkey. Some of those clans have several thousand members in Berlin alone, while others have just a few hundred. And it's not just drugs and human trafficking they're interested in. They are responsible for a lot of bigger heists and robberies as well. Just to name a few examples. In 2019, they broke into the museum in Dresden and stole jewelry worth more than
Man, these people are scum of the earth, man. Scum of the earth, man. No respect for criminals.
100 million euro. In 2017, they stole a 100 kilo gold coin from the Bode Museum, and back in 2012, over the course of several months, they dug a 45-meter tunnel under the Schlossstraße until they reached the vault of a nearby
Scum of the earth,
Volksbank
man.
and emptied all the deposit boxes there. This secret tunnel is just one of many different underground structures. Which brings us to the next fact. 40% of the city's structures are actually underground. The most obvious features are the city's subway network and the massive sewer system and its network of tunnels. But most interestingly, you can find many different bunkers and escape tunnels that were dug during the World War.
That is so
and
interesting.
After the war,
That is very interesting that they still, are finding some of these underground tunnels because of the war. That's
many
crazy.
of the underground tunnels were used by residents to flee from East to West Berlin, just under the wall. Residents even dug dozens more escape tunnels, some of which you can still visit today on guided tours. Before we move on, let me quickly tell you about another thing that is unbelievable but true. It has nothing to do with Berlin, but it is super important. Most people think Berlin is a concrete jungle, but actually Berlin is the greenest city in all of Germany. With 44% of its area covered by forests, parks and lakes, there is so much open green space to enjoy. The biggest of all being the Tempelhofer Feld, which used to be an old airport, but now it is Berlin's largest
beautiful.
city park. With
That's a city park now. Wow, that's beautiful. And not only that, it's just they reused it, right? They didn't throw it away and just let nature take over. But it's nice. It's nice. Very nice.
355 hectares in size, it is even the largest inner city open space in the whole world. People love to come here for barbecues, inline skating, or to let their
I like
dragon
kites.
fly. Not only green areas, Berlin also has a surprising amount of water. The whole city was actually built on a swamp. You will find more bridges here than in the whole of Venice. There are over 960 bridges found across the city, and the most famous one is the Oberbaumbrücke, with its beautiful architecture. And with 180 kilometers of waterways throughout the city,
Beautiful.
that is more than Venice, Amsterdam and Stockholm combined. Clubs. Berlin is home to some of the best clubs in the world. And for Berliners, it's pretty normal that a club stays open for like 4 days straight without closing. This means you can go party at any time of the day you like. Although most people don't stay longer than 24 hours. They just go home for a quick shower and a nap before returning for another dance session. And if there is a New Year's party or 2 public holidays in a row, some clubs stay even open 6 days in a row, non-stop. Berlin has not only huge weekend-long parties, it is also home to the smallest disco club in the entire world, the Teledisco, for the quick dance in between, which is basically a phone booth equipped with a sound system
So
in
when you bring drugs and stuff like that, you just get wasted there. I don't see what's the. Maybe it's a cultural thing. I don't see the.
which you can dance with up to 4 people.
Oh.
Berlin is not only the capital of techno, it is also the capital of unemployment. Some districts like Neukölln have an unemployment rate of more than 25%. But in Germany, if you don't have a job, you don't have to worry about living on the streets. The government will pay for all your basic needs. And with the newly updated Bürgergeld law, the government will pay for your flat no matter the cost for 2 years. That means I could rent a flat that costs 10,000 euro a month, apply for Bürgergeld, and the government has to pay for my luxury flat for 2 entire years. Not a bad deal if you ask me. And if anyone has such a flat for me to rent, please let me know. I'm ready to strike a deal. And if you think that this isn't possible or that people aren't taking advantage of this, oh, they very much are. Especially the clans we were talking about earlier love those laws. Every year there's some media coverage of some clan members living in villas and driving Ferraris, while at the same time receiving government benefits.
But how is that good though? Is this is it parody or what's going on here, man? Now you got me confused. How is this good? Because it does not sound good at all.
It is estimated that in Berlin alone, organized fraudsters are skimming between 100 and 200 million euro each year with their different schemes. And guess who's paying for that? Of course it's you, the honest taxpayer. Next, FKK beaches. Visitors to Berlin will be shocked to find out that FKK, or Freikörperkultur, is very common here. FKK is basically the German word for nudism, where people enjoy being naked in a non-sexual way. In Germany, being nude is seen as nothing to be ashamed of and is very socially accepted. In Berlin are dozens of FKK beaches spread all over the city, so it is pretty normal to see people hanging out naked and catching some sun. Moving on to the TV Tower, Germany's tallest building with a revolving restaurant in its
Oh, is that? Oh, wait.
dome. You can eat and drink coffee while enjoying beautiful views over
That's
the
crazy.
German capital. What most people who visit don't know is that the TV Tower restaurant kitchen is located at the base of the tower. So after you order your classic Wiener Schnitzel, the food is cooked and then sent up by elevator to the top, 368 meters high. And while
That is
we
an
are on the
experience.
theme of restaurants, you can find a restaurant here that is 400 years old. Zur letzten Instanz first opened in 1621, making it Berlin's oldest restaurant. And it's still open. Here you can get some real classic German food, such as Königsberger Klopse, or my favorite, pork knuckle. No, I'm just kidding. I hate pork knuckle. Don't eat it. Berlin is not only the capital of kebabs and unemployment, but also the graffiti capital of Europe. The graffiti artist scene in Berlin has a 15,000 people strong headcount, and graffiti is definitely a part of Berlin's culture. The art form is both celebrated and despised. On the one hand, you have beautiful large murals on otherwise boring looking buildings.
That's what they call gentrification, but Berlin doesn't need that. I don't know why the gentrification aspect of it. I mean, unless you have a very probably neighborhood that are very hoody and trash, you probably need some of this stuff, but otherwise.
And on the other hand, shop fronts,
yeah,
trains,
this is not a good sign. This is our gang signs. This is not graffiti, arty. No, these are gang signs, bro. This is how they mark the territory.
people's homes, sprayed up and tagged with sometimes inappropriate language. What is crazy is that the city has to spend 40 to 50 million euro every year to erase unwanted graffiti.
And you guys know who are they doing it? You guys are not doing anything about it. That's my opinion. Might be wrong. Maybe the government doesn't know who it is, and nobody know who it is.
From the streets of Berlin, which is kind of ridiculous since it will just be clean for a very short amount of time, isn't it? Okay guys, these were all the unbelievable but true things for today. If you know another one I didn't mention here, please let us know in the comments below. See.
Very good, man. I'm willing to just go and visit Berlin. In the future, make sure that I can go with the family. It's just a city, regular city, just having some good spots and good history, just crimes like every other city. I don't see anything like wow. Of course, the airport part. Oh my God, that's one in a million. I don't think you will see something like that everywhere. I haven't seen something like that in the States at all. Nothing at that magnitude, like an airport. Now let's transform it to like a park. That's very good. That's very good. Let me know if you live in Berlin. Let me know in the comment section below how bad the crime is in Berlin and how bad these gangs are. And in the last 20 years, have graffiti gotten worse or hasn't gotten better? Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you in the next one.